whenever the condition is met, we want to modify the value of a record. Whenever the condition is met, we want to modify the value of a record. Field update. When the condition is met, I want to modify the value of a record, which is called field update. Now, let me give you one use case. Let me go to employee object. If record type is IT employee, then active equal to true. So if I choose record type as IT employee, automatically set active equal to true. If I keep record type equal to IT employee, keep the active equal to true. Automatically set the value of active equal to true. So how do you achieve this? Look at the format. Setup, build, create, workflows and approvals, workflow rules, new workflow, employee. When a new employee is created, with the record type equal to, look at this, with record type equals to IT employee, then automatically perform the action. What action you want to perform? Field update. What action? Field update. Right. Which field you want to update? Choose the field. You want to update active. Keep active equal to. So whenever a new record is created with a record type equal to IT employee, set the value of active equal to true. Click on done. Click on activate. Then go to the employee. New employee. Continue. So I have some data. City equal to Bangalore. I have created. So when a new employee is created, what is the value of active? Active value is, I am not enabled. By default, the value is enabled. So what is it? Whenever the condition is met, automatically modify the value of a record. Are you getting my point? It's called workflow field update. On a record, when a condition is obeyed, modify the value of a record. Update is nothing but what? Modifying the value. Are you clear about this condition? Everyone is good with this condition? Right. Now, listen to the context. There are few technical points that we need to understand. Field update is clear for everyone? Everyone is good with that? Right? Followed or not followed? Right. You're giving opposite of the same. Right. Followed or not followed? Right. Now, let us see. When you are trying to understand workflow field update, I have a multiple rules. Let us see. Workflow rule 1, which says city equal to white. What is the rule name? I have a rule. City rule. What is the name of the rule? City rule. What is the condition? City equal to white. Action. What is the action? Field update. Which field you want to update? You want to update amount equal to. Amount equal to 2. You want to update amount equal to 2. Then we have workflow number 2. Then when you say workflow number 2, So what was this? Workflow number 2. In the workflow number 2, I told amount rule. What is the amount rule we have? What is the condition we have? If amount is greater than 5,000, action. What is the action you want to perform? FieldUpdate. Then, what is the field you want to update? The field which you want to update, city equal to bank. So this is my rule. Workflow number 1, workflow number 2. All these two rules are defined on the same object. On the same object, we have two rules. Workflow 1, workflow 2. Now, I created a new record. New record is created. What is that? Satish. Hyderabad. This is the record what I created. So the point is, which will run first? Which rule will run first? If this is running first, city equal Hyderabad, yes, perform the action. If this is running first, amount is greater than 5,000, perform the action. When there are more than one workflow rule, which rule will run first? When there are more than one workflow rule on the same object, which rule will run first? Look at the point. Yeah. Check the workflow number 1. City equal Hyderabad. City equal Hyderabad. Then go to the workflow number 2. Don't take the condition. Don't perform the action. Did I perform the action? No. Don't perform the action. Without performing the action, check all the rules. Workflow number 2. What is the number 2? Amount is greater than 5,000? Yes. Amount is greater than 5,000. So don't perform the action. Only check the rules. After you verify all the rules, whichever the rules are true, their actions will be performed at a time. Now, both the rules are true, actions will be performed. How the action is performed? Satish. Okay, value. What is the value we got? Satish, value 2000. It is not rule, action. It is all rules, all actions. It is all rules first, then all the actions next. Are you clear about this format? Are you clear about this? When there are more than one workflow rule, all the rules are verified first. After verifying all the rules, whichever the rules are meeting the condition, their actions are performed next. Are you clear about this? So all the rules are verified on what record? Original record. All the rules are verified on original record. All the rules are verified on original record. I hope I am clear. I hope I am clear with this. Clear for everyone? Clear for everyone? Any further queries? Okay. Let us go to the next. Okay. Now look at the next condition. I have workflow number 1. What is workflow number 1? City equal to Hyderabad. FieldUpdate 1. FieldUpdate 1. Set amount equal to 5,000. When was the action created? Listen to the format clearly. FieldUpdate. I have created a FieldUpdate action on which object? On a lead object. FieldUpdate action was created on lead object. What is the action? It was equal to 5,000. When was this action created? 10th August 2017, 10:30. I created one more FieldUpdate. FieldUpdate. On which object you have created? the action. So how many actions I created? So two field updates I created. Update 1, update 2. Now I created a workflow. I created a workflow. What is the workflow 1? I created a workflow rule. Say, they give industry. They give industry. Then what happened? The rule they give is industry equal to banking. If industry equal to banking, action. What is the action they told? Rating update. Rating update. They give one more workflow rule. Workflow number 2. They told rule. Revenue rule. What is the rule they told? If annual revenue greater than 3,000, action. What is the action they told? Source. So there are two workflow rules defined on the same object. Workflow 1, workflow 2. Right. So what is this action 1? Rating update. When was this action created? 17th August. Then the action source update. When was the action created? 10th August. Now I created a record again. What is the record? We have Satish Paila. Now we got banking. This is a record what I created. I created this record. When I created this record, what happened? Rule number 1 is verified. Rule number 2 is verified. We have workflow rule 1. We have workflow 1. When is the workflow rule 1? What is the rule? Industry equal to banking. Yes. Then I am going to perform action. Check the second rule. What is this? Annual revenue greater than 50,000. Both the rules are true. When both the rules are true, I have to perform an action. So which action should be performed first? Now, whichever the action was created first, that will be performed first. Rating update, source update. Out of these two, which action was created first? 10th August. So which record will be updated first? Source update. So it will be Satish Mela. Then it is going to perform second update. What is the second update? Rating equal to what? Satish Mela. Are you clear? So all the rules will be verified first. After all the rules are verified, whichever the rule is true, their actions will be performed as per the order of action created date. All the rules are verified first. After verifying all the rules, whichever the rules are obeying, their actions are performed as per the order of action created date. Is that all clear for everyone? People have followed this? Once again I repeat. When there are more than one workflow rule defined on the same object, when there are more than one workflow rule defined on the same object, all the rules are verified first. All the rules are verified first, and their actions are performed as per the order of their action created date. When there is more than one workflow rule, all the rules are verified first, and their actions are performed as per the order of action created date. Right, boss? That's the reason. Rule 1, true. Rule 2, true. Yes, both the rules are true. Then perform the action. Which action should be performed first? Order of action created date. Am I clear with this? People are clear? Am I clear? Clear for everyone? Right. So once again, for understanding, I'll repeat. If there is more than one workflow rule defined on the same object, their actions will be performed. All the rules will be verified first, and their actions are performed as per the order of action created date. As per the order of action created date. I hope you are clear. Right. Next. Let me give. Yeah. See? Minutes, hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. Okay. In the microseconds, the data will be variation. Obviously, update means overriding the data only, na? Update is nothing but what? What is the meaning of update? You are trying to replace old data with some new data. You are trying to replace old data with some new data. Okay. Right now. Next, let us go to the second condition. We are going. Any further queries, Amma? See, if you have any query, ask me. Look at the next example. We have, if you are trying to create a workflow field update, look at this. Workflow action, edit. If you are trying to create a field update, there is an option. What is the option? Re-evaluate workflow rule after field changes. Understand this? Re-evaluate workflow rule after the field changes. Listen to this context carefully. Now I have workflow 1. For the rule name, city rule. Rule, what is the rule? City equal to, I give a rule, city equal and repeat. What is the action you want to perform? Field update. W1, city rule, city equal Hyderabad, action, field update. So which field you want to update? What equal to workflow. Workflow. There is a workflow 2. What is the rule we are giving? Amount. What is this? Amount greater than. If amount is greater than 30,000, action. What do you want? Which field you want to update? Amount greater than. This is how we click. So we got workflow 1, we got workflow 2. We got workflow 1, we got workflow 2. Workflow 1, workflow 2. Now, first record I created. Satish. Then I give a rule. Satish. Hyderabad. 20,000. I get a record. Name. City. Name city. For the workflow number 1. Is the condition. What is it? Re-evaluate workflow rule after the field changes. What is the meaning of this? It is saying boss. Look at that. There is a condition. Re-evaluate workflow rule after the field changes. This is a record. Satish Hyderabad 20,000. So what was the condition? Re-evaluate workflow rule after the field change. Re-evaluate workflow rule after the field change. Now what does it mean? Look at the condition carefully. I verified workflow number 1. Workflow number 1. What is workflow number 1? Set equal element. Set equal element. What is workflow number 2? What is it? Amount greater than 30,000. Only one rule is due. As only one rule is due, what is the action that is performed? Only one action. Out of these two, whichever the rule is true, only that action. What is the action we got here? Update amount equal 50,000. This is how we got. Update amount equal to 50,000. Once you got update amount equal to 50,000, then what happened? Record is modified. Then, if I check the rule again, if I check the rule now, the second rule will be true. Workflow number 1 verified 1, 2, but rule number 2 is not true, failed. Rule number 1 is true, success, so I updated. Right now, after record is updated, if I check the rule again, second condition will be true, right? When I already verified, it is a false. Already I verified, rule is not meeting, it failed. Okay, rule 1 is meeting, rule 2 is not meeting. So as per the order, I updated the field. After the record is updated, if I check the condition again, then what happened? Record will be meeting the condition. So should I check the condition again or not? If I check the condition again, record will meet the condition. But the question is, should I check the rule again or not? If I check again, second condition is true, but can I check the condition or not? Should I check the condition or not? It's a question mark. To understand this, what we are doing was, we got an option, re-evaluate. If I enable this option, what does it mean? If I enable this option, because of my workflow rule, if there is any field update, if there is any field update, should I check the condition again or not? Yes. If I enable, because of my rule, if the value of the record is modified, recheck all the rules which are failed. Now, when I enable this, what happened? Recheck all the rules. When I recheck all the rules, what happened? Check the rule number 2. Check the rule number 2. Verify. Yes. Workflow number 2. Recheck the condition. Yes. True. When you recheck the condition is true, then make an updation. What is the updation? What is the update we have? Field update status equal to right. Now, because of the rule number 1, rule number 1 modify the record. When the rule number 2 modify the record, should I recheck the remaining rules or not? What happened here? What the workflow rule 2 told? What the workflow rule number 2 told? Because of my rule, if there is any modification, don't check. Even if I enable this, are there any rules which are failed? No. If I enable this option, what happened? Because of my rule, if there is any updation, recheck all the rules which are failed in the previous cases. But there are no cases which are failed. All of them are success. So stop the operation. Are you clear about the condition? Because of my rule, if there is any modification of the record, should I recheck the previous conditions or not? Should I recheck the conditions which are failed or not? Because of my rule, if there is any modification on the record, should I recheck the records? Should I recheck the rules which are failed in the earlier case or not? Again, I am repeating the word. Because of my rule, if there is any modification on the record, should I check all the rules which are failed in the earlier case. If I enable this, yes, recheck. If I disable this, don't recheck. When should I recheck? If there is any failed rule. If there is any rule which is failed, then I have to recheck. Are you clear about the context? I will do one more example for understanding. Rule. What is the rule we have given? If lead source equal to web, if lead source equal to web, field update. What is the field update rule? Then re-evaluate work rule. Field update. Let's check. I have these are the two things. Rule number one, rule number two. Now, did you enable this option? You not enable this option. So first I'm failing. Wow. This is the data what I created this record. When I create this record, what will happen? Check rule number one. What is the rule number one? Lead source equal to web. Yes or no? Then rule number two. Rating equal what? Rating equal what? Only one rule is okay. Then the rules which are meeting the condition, their actions are performed. When their actions are performed, what is the action they perform? Then rating is on. This is how we got. Satish web or application. Now, record is one. Because of the workflow number one, record value is modified. Am I right? Because of which rule the value is modified? Workflow number. Because of the workflow number one, record is modified. Because of the workflow number one, record is modified. Because of the workflow number one, record is modified. When the record is modified, it is asking, should I check the rule again or not? I told, re-evaluate workflow rule of the field change. No, I told. I am not enabled. Suppose if I enable this option, I enable this option. If I enable this option, what does it mean? Because of the rule number one, if any record is modified, the record is modified, recheck the rules which are failed. Which rule is failed? Workflow number two is failed. So recheck it. Rating equal what? If reading equal what? Perform the action. What is the action you are performing? Satish? What? What is? What is? Once the record is modified, once the record is modified, once the record is modified, what I'm going to do? Once the record is modified, that is asking. Because of the workflow number 2, because of the workflow number 2, if the record is modified, should I check the rules again? What did I do? No. Suppose if I enable this option, what will happen? Okay, I want to recheck. But are there any rules which are failed? There are no rules. So what happened? Stop. If any rule is failed, I will check the rule. But there are no rules which are failed, so I will stop the process. I hope you got my point. So, when there are more than one workflow rule, first check all the rules, then check all the rules. Whichever the rules are meeting the condition, their actions are performed as per the order of action created thing. Then, if you enable the option called re-evaluate workflow rule, if there is any modification because of this rule, recheck the remaining rules which are failed in the previous case. These are the two rules what we verified. I hope I am clear. Right. Now, because of the workflow rule, I told you can update the field. Which fields of the record you can update? I told because of the workflow rule, I can update the fields of the record. Which fields of the record you can update? You can update the fields of your record and your master record. You can update the fields of your record and your master record. You can update your fields or you can update your master record. I hope I am clear. People are clear about this context? People have followed this? Any further queries from your end? Clear? No. The rule will be different. For every workflow, this will be a different rule. I hope I am clear with this concept. Now, let me give you some use case. The real-time use case. Look at the concept. Setup, build, create objects. Student is already here. Now look at this. I am trying to create some couple of fields. Schema builder. Student. We are going to take some fields here. Understand the theme clearly. Last name, first name. The house. Now we'll understand the record types and page layouts with the workflow combinational technique. Workflows with the record types and page layouts combinational technique. Setup, build, create objects, student, then go to the page layout, student page layout, I am trying to add a couple of fields here. What are the fields? Student name, first name, last name. I created one format. Record type 1, record type 2. Okay, page layout 2 I am creating. New student, first name, last name. I have a couple of things. This is page layout 1, page layout 2. I created a record type. How do you create a record type? Full of record type. New student. There is a new student, new page layout. Old student, old page layout. So how many record types are there? 2 record types. If you are trying to create, go to the tab. So you got the student here. When you are trying to create a new student, it's okay. You have a choice, new student or old student. But if you want to open an existing record, it is at the time of creating a record, it will ask you which record type. So once the record is saved, how will be visible to you? This is how you are able to see. Now, the record, after the record is saved, can you change the record type? At the time of creating a record, you have a choice which record type. But once the record is saved, you don't have a choice which record type. Am I right or no? At the time of creating a record, you have a choice which record type. Once the record is saved, you don't have a choice which record type. So I have a condition here. What was the condition? Look at the format. Setup, build, create, workflows and approvals, workflow rules. What is the object we got here? Student object. Whenever a new student is created, with record type equals to new student. Whenever a new student is created with record type new student, make a field update. Automatically the status will be what? So whenever a new student is created with the record type called new student. Whenever a new student is created, automatically record type is what? New student. Then set the value of status equal to. Then again setup, build, create, workflows and approvals, workflow rules. What is that student? Then what I'm giving here. Whenever a new student is modified, created or anytime it is modified, what is the condition? Status. Look at the point. Status equal to approved. Whenever the status is modified as approved, I want to update the field. If the status is modified as approved, Update the field. What do you want to update? Update the field. Which field you want to update? Record type I want to update. What am I to update? I will modify the record type. If status is approved, change the record type equal to. If status is modified as approved, record type will change. When record type change, what happens? The way you are able to see the record will change. Right now I am able to see ABC, XYZ change. XYZ. Once the record will be changed, I will be able to see what? Only ABC. Once the record is saved, when a condition is met, I want to update the record type. Are you getting my point? When it is a new record, look at the point. If it is a new record, you have a choice which record type you want. But if the record is already created, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You have to see the record how it is available. Now what I am doing? Whenever the status is modified approved, then they will go to it. When you modify the record type, then what will happen? The page layout will change. What will change? Page layout will change. Whenever the record is approved, the page layout will change. What is the page layout become? Go back to this setup. Go to the setup. What is the rule here? Create record text. Objects, student. What are the record types we give? So what is the record type we give? Old student. If it is a new student, we are getting a new student. Otherwise, we are getting what? Student. In the student level, which fields I give? If it is a record type is a old student, which level we give? Student level. Go to the student level and see which fields are visible to you. Student name, first name, last name, status. Only these fields are visible to you. Only these fields are visible. Then why the workflow rule is not working for me? Right? Go back. Did I activate the workflow rule? Create workflow rule. What is this? I have not activated it. As you are not activated, the rule is not working. Okay. Now understand the rule from the beginning. So first we are trying to get box. Student. New student. New student record type. What is the record type? New student. I am not giving any status. Status I am not given. Now right now you are able to see all the fields. Whenever a new record is created, auto with the record type called new student, set the status equal to what? Automatically workflow rule fired, status is set as pin. Whenever the existing record is modified, the status equal approved, automatically what happened? Change the record type. Now what happened? What are the fields we are finding? Are you able to see these fields? Are you able to see this field? You are not able to see it. Are you getting my point? Why you are not able to see? When status is approved, change the page level. When status is approved, change the page level. When the value of a field is modified, I want to show different page layout. How can you achieve? By using workflow field update. Are you getting my concept? Did you people follow my concept? When the value is modified, when the value is modified, show different set of fields. I will give you that diagram information. Probably you have a better idea. I told. So A, B, C, X. If the status is modified as approved, then show so who is the person? I am the person. Same record, same person, same user, same person, same record. When the value of the field is modified, record type should change. When the value of the record is modified, record type should change. If the same person want to see the same record in more than one format, what concept you are going to use? Same person, same record, more than one format. Which concept is that? Which concept is that? Record type. But here, what is the condition? When the field value is modified, change the record type. How can you achieve? Workflow field update. Which field update? Record type. Are you getting my point? Whenever the value of the field is modified, update the record type. Whenever the value of the record is modified, update the record type. It is one of the general use cases you will find. On the workflow rules, one of the complex use case what you will find is this. Are you clear about this format? Concept is clear? Concept is clear? Clear? Everyone has followed this? Clear, boss? Any queries? Am I clear? Okay. Let us go to the next one. Now, we are trying to understand time-based workflow rules. What is the time-based workflow rules? Perform the action at a specified time. When the rule is met, perform the action at a given time. When the rule is met, perform the action at a given time. Then how will you achieve? By using what? Time-based workflow. Look at the point. Opportunity, setup, build, create, workflows and approvals, workflows. New workflow rule, which option you are taking, your choice. Let us say account or let us say case. Whenever a case is created, right, look at the point. When a case is created, no problem. When a case is created and every time it is edited, what are you getting here? You cannot add time dependent. So if you choose the evaluation criteria as created and every time it is edited, you cannot add time-based workflow rules. You go to the next? No problem. Right? So when I cannot create a time-based workflow actions, when the evaluation criteria is created and every time it is edited. Then I told you can write a criteria, I will give a rule now. If you want to write a rule, you can give a rule. I will say go with one. What is the condition? When the case origin is, when the case is coming from an email, then perform the action. What action? Time dependent action. When the action should perform, I told it's a time dependent. When that action should perform, add a time trigger. When 3 days after the rule trigger date, perform the action after 3 days. Which action you want to perform after 3 days? Task. I give a task. I send the task to Satish. Confirmation call. So when this action should perform? After 3 days. After 3 days, give a confirmation call to the customer and find out whether the issue is fixed or not. So when the action will be performed? 3 days after the rule triggering. After 3 days, how many actions I can perform? 40 actions. So what is that 3 days? It's called time trigger. Like this, how many time triggers I can make? Time trigger 1, time trigger 2, time trigger 3. 10 hours. Like this, how many time triggers we can create? 10 time triggers. How many time triggers? 10 time triggers. And every time trigger can have how many action? 40 action. In every time trigger, how many action we can have? 40 action. In every time trigger, how many actions can be performed? 40 actions can be performed. Am I clear? Right. So we give time dependent action. Save it. So if it is right now, it will run like a Satish. But you are asking the system to run after 3 days. After 3 days, the rule should run like which user? If it is right now, Satish has created, rule will run like Satish. But you are asking the rule to run after 3 days. After 3 days, rule should run like which user? which is called default workflow. Go to the case. New case is created. Origin. When a new case is created, automatically task is going to be created. So when a new task, is it the task is created? No, why? Because I asked you to create a task after 3 days. But how do you know that that is running or not? If it is immediate, I can go to the record and see task is added or not. But if it is a time dependent, how do you test it? If it is a time dependent, how do you test it? Setup, monitor, time based, object equals. Now, new case. Task is assigned. On 23rd is going to run that task. On 23rd, the task is going to be assigned. Are you getting the point? So, how do you check it? If you want, you can delete all. Are you getting the point? How do you find out? Setup, build, setup, monitor, time based, workflows, give the condition. Rule name or object name or schedule date. You can get the list of scheduled jobs. You can delete if you want. I hope you are clear. I will do one more example. Right. Now I am creating on offer 3. Setup, build, create, workflows and approvals, workflow rules, new rule, and with the object, offer 3 object. On offer 3 object, when it's created, I can create a time-based action. Created and every time it is edited, I cannot create a time-based action. I can create a time-based action. Rule I want to say, formula is picture, stage name, when stage name is closed loop one, check the syntax. I gave a formula. Next, action. When you want to perform an action, first we need to add time trigger. What is the time trigger? 5 days after the rule trigger date. 5 days after the record close date. Whenever the record is closed after 5 days, send it. What is the action you want to perform after 5 days? Create a task. Send. Send it. Then see. So after 5 days, automatically what happened? Task will be assigned. Done. Activate. What should I do? Go to opportunity. New opportunity. Salesforce admin. Stage name. I told close the one. When a new opportunity is created with the stage name equal to close the one, workflow rule will find. But is the activity is created? How do you check whether they are working or not? Setup, monitor, time-based workflow. Then we are going to give object equals opportunity. Then you are able to see task is assigned. If you want to delete, you can delete from here. I hope you are clear with this format. Everyone is done with this. Everyone is done with this. I hope people are done. People have followed. So How many types of actions we can create? Email alert, field update, outbound message, task. One more action is there. What is that action? Outbound message. Outbound means sending the data from Salesforce to third party system. Sending the data from Salesforce to third party system. Sending the data from Salesforce to third party system is called outbound message. So if you want to send outbound message, there is nothing that you have to do. Simply select. If you want to send a message to third party, the URL they will give you. Like this, the URL will give you. Select the URL. Select which fields you want to send. That's the end of your game. So if you want to send outbound message, they will give a URL. The third party to which you want to send the data, that URL will be given. Copy the URL. Select the fields. Data will go to that organization. Outbound means sending the data from Salesforce to third party system. Sending the data from Salesforce to third party system. I hope you are clear with this. You can follow this point, right? So how many types of actions can be performed? How many types of actions can be performed? Okay, 4 types of actions. What are they? Email alert, field update, outbound message, task. How many time triggers can be created? 10 time triggers. But every time trigger, how many actions can be performed? 40 actions. Out of 40, how many emails? 10. How many field updates? 10. How many outbound messages? 10. How many tasks? 10. Right? So, how many workflow rules can be created? 500 workflow rules can be created on an object. On an object, how many rules we can create? 500 rules. Out of 500, how many can be active? Out of 500, how many rules can be active? 50 rules can be active. 500 rules we can create. Out of 500, 50 can be active. Now, come back to the story once again. What is a workflow rule? I will revise the workflow rule. What is the workflow rule?